Welcome back to another episode of Out of Bounds. This is episode 23. I'm your host, Danell Leyva. Today, I'm going to forego the intro music and all the fun stuff because honestly, today is not a fun episode for me to be recording. Ironically enough, this episode was supposed to be the start of kind of a transitional point where I just take these episodes and I make them more fun and I try and make them funny, and talk about things that could potentially just help you laugh and help you kind of forget about everything. But honestly, I could not find the motivation to pretend. I really couldn't find the motivation to pretend, especially in the midst of everything that is happening and everything that just happened. What day is it today? The 8th? 2 days ago. You're watching this on the 9th, on the Saturday. I'm recording this on Friday. I normally record these way early on in the week. I record them so early on so I can edit them with time and I don't have to worry about it. And today, I'm insanely stressed because I honestly, I'm barely going to have any time to edit this. I'm probably not going to be able to post a promotional video. And if I am, whatever, it doesn't matter. The point is, I genuinely had no motivation. I didn't want to do this. I didn't want to do this at all. I didn't want to come on here and talk to you guys and be like, everything's fine. Watch me be a clown. I love being a clown, but not in a situation like this. If it wasn't for Sarah telling me why don't you talk about exactly how you're feeling? React to everything that is happening. And that's exactly what I'm going to do. So that's what this episode is for. So if you don't want to see this, I'm sorry. Please come back next week and watch next week's. Or if you go watch the last episode. That one's very funny. That one is me getting drunk on basically Christmas and answering some fun questions. So if you want to laugh and you want to go have a fun time, go do that. I would totally understand you. I get it. But honestly, I couldn't come on here and pretend that everything was fine and just come on here with a happy face. I really couldn't. And I really couldn't for just so many reasons, Where are all the people that when we were doing the Black Lives Matter protests and we were doing the actual peaceful protests and the marches and we were walking around places and kneeling every so often and chanting the names of murdered people that were murdered unlawfully, unjustly, people that were murdered from the comfort of their own home, people that were murdered, unarmed people that were murdered, people that were shot in the back for living, for jogging, for doing literally nothing, for reaching for their wallets, when asked to present ID, by the way. And instead, we see this happening where there's a group of people, honestly, it's a cult. It's a cult. At this point, that's all that it is. It's just a cult of people, and they marched into the U.S. Capitol, uninterrupted, chanting the name of one person. And the last time that happened in this country was in 1814. 5 people died. Not in 1814, in 2021, 5 people died. Where are the people that were saying Blue Lives Matter? A cop died. A cop died. It was that group that was chanting Blue Lives Matter and All Lives Matter. These people were committing federal crimes. They were committing literal treason. It was a domestic terror attack. That's all that it was. It was not a protest. For anybody calling it a protest, you clearly don't understand the definition of what that is. That is not a U.S. constitutional right to march in with a horde of people and intimidate and terrorize members of the government, and it be incited by the commander-in-chief. He said that's what they were going to do. He literally said, we are going to march together to the Capitol. Let's go do that. And then when they asked him to say something about it, he went on He went on to make a video saying that he loved those people. I'm fucking infuriated. I'm tired of it. And I'm not even part of Black America. And I'm not saying my community hasn't struggled. I know that we struggle. I know that the Latinx community struggles every single day. But just imagine, just for a second, what it would have been like if that group... listen, I'm not even going to say that... I'm not even going to say, imagine if that group was Al-Qaeda or ISIS or a known terrorist group that was branded a terrorist group by the media. No. A group of Americans that are chanting Black Lives Matter. Imagine what would have happened. Guess what? We actually don't even have to imagine it because we saw what would have happened in a much, much lesser situation. I was there. I was at a Black Lives Matter protest. I wanted to be at more. I didn't have the chance to. And I saw, as soon as they were tired of us being there, I saw what they said. I saw what started happening. We had started leaving already, and I already saw what started happening. The police started threatening that they were going to start shooting tear gas and start arresting people. And by the way, nothing had been broken. Nobody was breaking any laws. We were just walking and kneeling and chanting people's names. And yet we have proof, pictures, videos of police officers letting some of these people into the Capitol Hill, taking selfies with these people, escorting them through the Capitol building. But what else am I going to say? There's not really much else to say because Stephen Colbert put it amazingly. He said, this is the most infuriating, heartbreaking, and least surprising thing that has happened. He said, who could have seen this coming? Everyone. All of us. We all saw this coming. So that's the reason why I can't just come on here and be happy, try and make you laugh, because I'm fucking angry. I'm really fucking angry. And 5 people died. And I know a lot of people are probably like, oh, they probably deserve to die. No, nobody deserved to die. The only person who didn't deserve something was Donald Trump. He didn't deserve to be in that position of power because of all of the hate and violence that he has incited throughout the last 4 years. Or more, honestly. A lot of people talk about how un-American what those people did is. But, like, is it, is it actually un-American? That's exactly what they wanted. They wanted a disturbance of power. They wanted to break down everything that this country for generations and generations have tried to hold to high regard. The U.S. Capitol building and everybody who worked in it. There was always... It was never perfect. It's always been terrible and corrupted and god awful, especially for people of color. Always. There needs to be so much change. So many things need to be better. So many. But there was always at least some semblance of respect and understanding of how to comport oneself. But because of this leader that we had for 4 years, this is what we get. And it hasn't even ended. He claimed that he said he's not going to be at the inauguration. He told these people, these were the people that he was talking to when he said, stand back and stand by. There was a Confederate flag in the U.S. Capitol, January 6th. That has literally never happened in the history of the United States. Ever. Not even during the Civil War. The Confederate flag has never been inside the U.S. Capitol building until January 6th, 2021. The same day that this president claimed for the millionth time that the election was stolen, that it was rigged, that it was fraudulent. No matter all of the evidence, no matter everything that suggested that everything that he is saying is a lie. There have been countless, I'm not even going to say news outlets, just countless different sources that have shown proof how many times this man has lied on national television to everyday people. Richard Nixon was considered one of the most corrupt presidents of all of U.S. history. And honestly, in comparison, it almost looks like he barely did anything to what this president has done. How bad really was it in comparison to this? How bad? I want to know. Because this man literally incited an entire mob to storm and break into and climb over the walls of the U.S. Capitol. And I'm repeating myself because it seems unreal. It seems like a movie. I read this tweet by the screenwriter, and I can't tell you how true it feels because I myself am a screenwriter. And so to read this, it made me laugh, but then at the same time, it made me so furious because they said, do you understand how hard it is and how many hoops you have to jump through to make it a plausible reason for people to break into the U.S. Capitol when you're writing a movie, when you're writing a fictional piece of work? And these people walked in. They walked in. I think about all of the people who have died for far less during genuine peaceful protests. When the whole only thing that we've been asking for is equality, equity, to be treated the same as everybody else. Nobody's asking for all of these people that have stormed the Capitol to be shot and murdered and pepper sprayed and maced and abused the way that we were when we were doing Black Lives Matter. We were asking for us to be treated the same as them. I haven't wanted to think about this. I've tried so hard not to think about this. I've tried so hard to distract myself and to just do anything. I've played video games a lot. I've tried to do everything. Luckily, I had an audition. Did that really well yesterday. The whole time I've been just drained. Just absolutely fucking drained. This was not a protest. This was a domestic terror attack. Calling it a protest is disrespectful. It's disgraceful. Do you know how terrified my mom was when I told her that I was going to go march in a Black Lives Matter protest? She was terrified. And I said, we're just going to be walking. We're not going to be saying anything. We're not going to be doing anything. I'm not going to break anything. In fact, we had a plan that if we saw anybody starting to break anything, we were going to stop them. We were going to stop them before anybody else got hurt. And she was terrified. Imagine if I would have said, I'm going to go storm the U.S. Capitol. First of all, I would have been deported because I wasn't even born here. If I would have made it out alive, I would have been deported. Without a doubt. They're not protesters. They're terrorists. They can call themselves American. I call myself an American, and I'm not. I don't associate with that. This is obviously going to be a shorter episode. I didn't want to do this in the first place. I was just going to skip it, but I can't. I can't skip it. I can't just not talk about what I'm feeling. This is important. This is a moment where we all have the opportunity to reach as many people as possible. We all have an audience, every one of us, which means everybody has a voice. Some of us have slightly bigger platforms than others, like myself, so I'm going to try and use it to my advantage. Thank you for listening. Next week will be less morbid, I guess. I don't know.